live. We are live.
We're live. Once again.
I appreciate you guys coming on. Kevin, thank you for your help.
Yeah, man. Just let me know when you go live because right now I can see Mark. He's just I don't know why he said he can't be here tonight. He's just sitting on the couch in his tidy whities. I can see him right now.
Man.
He doesn't know where I hide the camera at. It's right inside that little. Right inside that.
Well, he told me he was sitting in front of a fan in a beanbag eating Cheetos naked. That's what he told me.
That sounds like his Monday night. Ben, I hope you're getting better. Ben, you're out there.
Definitely, Ben.
Keeping it sucker free.
Mm-hmm.
Drama free.
Oh yeah!
What was that? Oh, y'all got sound effects on this show now, huh?
Yeah.
So we got some wrestling to talk about, some belt hobby things. I got a new belt received last Friday.
Did you? I still got to clean the belt that I got. I haven't cleaned it yet. That I got for a belt day that's been like 3 weeks ago, I think.
And I'm possibly working out a deal for a new Raw tag official replica. Yeah, it's been one of those crazy days.
It's been hot here. Today we had the dew point at 81, so it felt like 115, even though it was only 95.
Wow.
It was couldn't even breathe outside. It was
yesterday and the day before it was like 111. Today it was actually 90 degrees.
The humidity just kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it with your humidity there?
It was 111 total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love you folks out west to be like, oh yeah, it is 115. There's a difference between dry heat and humidity. Humidity, I mean, you can't even breathe.
You go out the front door, it smacks you in the face.
Oh, kicks your teeth in. Mm-hmm. And the further,
like
going down
the porthole to the devil's butthole.
Yeah, Virginia all the way down. Yeah.
Just walking out your door and down the driveway, you're out of breath already. It's like boom.
And then somebody dumped out a poor little cat out here, and they drive by the farm all the time. And the cat they don't want, they dump them, and there's a new cat out here that's just hollering.
How's the newest cat, Mark?
Oh, wow.
The little blind one.
Yeah, the newest kid.
The little blind one's doing good.
Good.
Little blind one's doing good. It's having some fun.
Okay, we got 1 minute. 1 minute to go, guys.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. It's great you take them in like that, Kev.
New little blind one. Yeah. It's orange.
Yeah, you guys have a good heart.
She's feisty.
The way she should be.
Nobody deserves to be thrown away like that. And not even just an animal, person or animal, man. It's ridiculous.
Can't stand that when they just dump them like they're, garbage or something. It's terrible.
Yeah. All right, Richard. Wrong podcast.
We are live. Thank you for joining the Spanning the Globe podcast. Tonight, our main host, Mark, is away with the family on a siesta vacation with the family. Tonight, I have Andy Bolger, Kevin Davenport with the Dropkick podcast with two more guys coming in. Don't forget to check out Love Those Wrestling Belts with Andy Bolger. Don't forget to check out the Double Dropkick podcast with Ethan Thompson, Kevin Davenport, and Stephen Hammer every Saturday night. Be sure to give love and shout out to Ben Walker out there. Ben's a little bit under the weather tonight, so we got a couple of guys filling in to help us out tonight, doing the show and making Mark proud. So how you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. So glad Kev's here to join us.
Hey, welcome in. Hey, good to join you. Good to join you. Sorry about the mix up. I was thinking I was on my own show and just got into the habit and played the wrong
Stuff like
intro.
that
I don't
happens,
know.
no big deal. Hey,
Let's see who we got. We got a couple of people in the chat right now. Let's
do we?
Mr. Mark Laverty, number one chat.
Number one, Laverty. Number one.
We got Mr. Christopher Rains in the house.
Hey, Chris,
what is
what's
going
up,
on, Chris? What is going on, Lisa? How you doing?
He's ready to start his new show. After the Globe. Okay.
Everybody saying hello in the chat here tonight. Who's this guy?
I don't know. That looks familiar. I've heard that name before.
What's going on, CJ?
Hey, CJ, what's
up?
Uh-oh.
All the way from Malaysia, we got Mr. Noor. What's going on, Noor?
Good to see you, buddy.
We don't have the main guy here tonight, so we do it a little differently tonight. Everybody's saying hello in the chat. We got Mr. Jim Mills right here in the house. What's going on, Jim?
What's up, Jim?
We got Wrestling Bunkers over in the UK. What's going on? How's it going?
Bunkers
for
in
tuning
the
in
house.
tonight. Definitely 40-inch. We're on the big screen tonight.
Got his new TV, all right.
So what is going on, guys? I'm glad you can join me. This is our second show without Mark. He possibly might pop on.
You never know, he might.
I told him spending time with his family is more important. We got it. We may go off the rails a little bit here. But we will do our thing.
It's happened a few times.
Let's see. Anybody got a new belt day coming up?
No, I'm good for a while. How about you guys?
No, I had a I had a new one, a CS on American Leather tag. I think I showed it off before.
Cool.
Spanking the Globe.
What's up, Tamaj?
Drop kicking.
That's only the second hour. That's the second hour.
All the good stuff happens.
What's going on, CJ? Oh, we got Kevin O'Keefe in the house.
Kevin,
what's going on, Kevin?
What's up? I'm right here, guys. How you doing?
He's getting good with that leather, man. I'm telling you, Ricky with the stoning. Oh, speaking of Ricky, here we go. What is going on, Ricky Hernandez? What is going on? Shout out to you and your son, bro. Thank you for checking in tonight. Another father in the hobby that has a child with autism. Shout out to him. I've got everybody saying hello.
We're one big happy family here, you know?
Well, this past Friday, I got a new belt day. I just want to get the new belt day thing out of the way. I purchased a belt off of Mark. One of the belts that I wanted to add to my collection. It was already in hand, so it was perfect.
Belt of the week. So let's play the intro. Belt of the week. Play it. Let's go.
So we're gonna go for the belt of the week. We're gonna go to the belt of the week here. Belt of the week. I can't zoom in like Mark, so hopefully my lighting is good for you guys. I'm going to turn my light around so you can see it.
Look at there.
Plastic belt right there.
It's got the David Von Erich nameplate. Sorry about my lighting, guys, but you can see the gist of it.
Sweet belt.
Who'd you get that from?
I got this from Mark, and Mark got it from WC Belts. Nice belt overall, 10 out of 10. The leather is very floppy. The belt is heavy. I'm telling you, it is heavy. It does have, instead of the snaps, it has the little claw prongs. And then you have the thing where it just hooks in.
That's different.
Like I said, 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
The main plate itself, just the main plate itself. Let me see if I can get it in the camera right. Look how thick that is.
Oh, that's a thick one.
That's got to be about, I want to say 8 millimeter.
I'd say 8 to 10 millimeters on that.
Yeah. And then you have, the side plates.
Yeah.
All in all, nice belt. It's a classic belt. I wanted it because it had the Von Erich nameplate on it. Shout out to them.
Yep.
Shout out to
Very
him.
nice.
That was a must in my collection. Like I said, I'm working on a raw tag deal for a possible trade, but I'm going to weigh my options first.
Gotcha.
So, what is going on in the wrestling world this week?
Not much. Comments. Hey, Max, how you doing there, buddy? Jim Mills, Kevin D, how would you be? I'm pretty good, man. James Davis.
Ooh.
He'll get your comment.
Davis?
Okay, he'll get you.
Hey, James, how you doing, buddy?
What is going on? Sorry, guys. This is a slow pace. I got to put this comment out because I mention him in my live every week. I want to give a shout out to AD Terry watching us right now from the Middle East. Shout out to you, sir.
Stay
all
safe.
the men and women over there doing what you're doing to keep us safe here.
Yeah.
Prayers to you guys. Thank you guys very much. Stay safe. Be well. And stay blessed, man. You guys,
stay
shout
safe.
out to all you guys.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service, guys.
Yep.
What's up, Jim?
James losing belts. AD is the man. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Stay safe.
AD is the man. I watch his updates on his Facebook and everything. He shares everything.
I do too.
He's doing okay, guys. All he does is he really doesn't do anything. He's just sitting there playing his Nintendo all day long. I saw those pictures, AD.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
We saw those pictures. I was like, are you sure you're deployed? Where are you at? He's like, I'm in my garage.
He went to visit one of the belt makers. He's just chilling.
Yeah. I was like, man, this dude's got a setup. He had a TV. He had his games. I saw his feet up. I was like, deployed? What kind of deployment is that? But all kidding aside, you be safe over there and do what you
guys. We got another guest in the background. Allow me to bring him in. I want to introduce the Impact player, Phil Rayer from the official Turnbuckle Throwbacks, my cuz bro. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce Mr. Phil Rayer Jr. to the podcast tonight.
Thanks,
what is going on, cuz?
Good to see you.
Sorry I'm late. How are you guys? How's everybody doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good.
Yeah, heat wave has begun here in New York. I just got out of work.
Wow. Yeah, it's been hot here too, man. And we were just talking about that a few minutes ago. Down here yesterday and the day before was 111.
It was 58 degrees 48 hours ago. It was almost 100 today. It's insane. Mother Nature hates us.
Wow.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so tonight we don't have Mark, we don't have Ben, but they're here with us in spirit. Mark's having a vacation with the family. Kevin, Ben is a little bit under the weather tonight, but he's doing good.
Doing good.
All right.
We just want him to relax tonight. Shout out to him. So we want to do a good service this night with this podcast. So that's why I invited you on and Kevin on, and I got Ethan coming on at 8:30 for 30 minutes as well for a little bit.
Action-packed show.
We're going to talk. I just showed off my new belt there. I got the David Von Erich belt. Nice one. The
very nice.
one. I got to show it to you. Reach behind. Grab that.
Ooh, fancy. Wow.
This is not a rewind. This is not a rewind, folks.
It's not a rewind.
We're not rewinding it. He's just showing it again.
He showed it again.
I mean,
That's
come on.
awesome,
You
cuz.
got to
Very
get.
good.
You got the clasp. The hook in the back,
Right there.
where it hooks instead of the snaps. What was that?
Richer than a dead snore.
Well, enough about me, guys. How you guys doing? How was your week?
God. Everything about it is kitty cat.
This is my man Augie. He might make an appearance because he's I leave him
yeah,
alone
that's
a lot.
Right. Phil's got a cat too. Kevin's got a bunch of them. Andy's got some.
I do too.
I just got one. He's 13.
How many do you have, Andy?
5.
Did you say you have 5 cats? Wow.
We got 5.
Andy's like the old cat lady from Ridgewood. Remember Mrs.
Oh, now,
Peterson?
come on.
Rich?
Come on, that's my wife's dog.
Yeah. All right.
Baby,
right.
baby is a man. Yes, he is.
What is going on, man?
Yeah, I got 5, but Kevin's got a few more than I do, don't you, Kev?
The sound you like. Christopher always likes the sound effects. Yeah, we have.
Come on now.
Outside on the farm is 20 some cats, I think, and then
Nice.
got
Oh, so
like five inside too.
Nice.
You work cat
Kevin's got a
people,
good
dog
heart.
people.
Yeah, Kevin's got a good heart, man. He's got a couple of cats that were abandoned. We were just talking about it earlier. They just find
Yeah,
a
we
nice
don't
home
let them get
place.
put down. So when the shelter is their time's up, we just say throw them out come bring them out on the farm. They can live their life and be happy.
Nice.
That's
That's
great,
amazing.
Kev. That is so
That's a
great.
good move. That's a good move, Kev.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
I'm
just
a
don't
dog
understand
guy.
why. I mean, I get it with dogs because a dog can't take care of itself, but cat, just fix the cat and let it go in the woods. You don't have to put it down. The cat knows how to take care of itself.
Mhm.
I just lost a friend. I lost a friend a couple months ago, my buddy Kevin. And Kevin would say he would rescue cats and basically keep them in his bag. He would have them fixed and they would hang in his backyard and he would,
Yeah,
and
they'll
he did it for
stay
years.
right
He
there.
did it for years.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
Kevin Castle?
Yeah.
What is
He was a
going
great
on?
guy. I always enjoyed him on with Don Tony.
Yeah, those are my guys, man.
Mhm.
We were good friends, Kevin and I. But yeah,
Wow.
when I went to his wake, I was telling his brothers, I'm like, man, every time he talk about those cats, I was like, man, good for him. 'Cause it's hard, man. Especially if you see, Kev, you got a farm. We're in a city. Like, there's no room for that kind of thing here. So it's like if you can do it in a small space, that's amazing. And if you can do it in a big space, it's amazing. But
We gotta
yeah.
save that for the second hour, Kevin.
Yeah.
We'll show the second hour.
That's what Tyler does in the private chats.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Tyler for
You mean
that.
Taylor? Taylor does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Taylor does talcum powder. So what's the topic, Gordon? What you got for tonight?
So let's talk about some wrestling. First thing I gotta mention, come on. Mercedes Moné winning another title. What do you guys think about this?
She's annoying as hell. I'm sorry. I just can't stand her.
Participation trophy, or
this is what she's got 6
we
titles
call.
She got.
This is
she's got
what
6
you call
titles.
beyond creative control. It's getting beyond that.
You guys ever see that picture with Ultimo Dragon with like the 1,700 belts?
Yeah, on the arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's what that dish drag was doing last night in Mexico. It made me mad. It's just like, doing her best Ultimo Dragon, you know. But no, I find nothing. I find nothing appealing about her at all. At all.
Me neither.
I just find her incredibly annoying. I just can't stand her.
People hate when I say this, but she reminds me of one of those miniature ponies. That's what she reminds me of.
I don't know. But when I was in the Tokyo Dome and she wrestled that second day, you could hear a pin drop, and there was 35,000 people.
I bet. Yeah.
You know. Wow. And she's not. I mean, she had 5 good minutes in NXT. And when I mean by 5 minutes, I mean like a couple of months. She had a really good run in NXT when she first started, and then it's like old hat, you know. And it's now the competition's much better, and she's still stagnant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it just there's no appeal, you know, at all. So there's no appeal.
So Andy, what do you think about that?
I like I said, I just can't stand her. She's annoying, and she's got 6 belts now. It's like, what? Tony Khan is trying everything he can to build her up. But still, nobody's into her. I'm not. You know,
Kevin, what's your thoughts about her?
I think she's an average wrestler. I just find it interesting why they want to put all these titles on her. Is Tony Khan trying to be like, ha ha ha, WWE, look what I did, look what I got? Or are you trying to make her out a better wrestler? But it's coming off as when she left WWE, when she was in WWE, she was annoying already. People didn't like her skills. She was a backroom problem. I think a lot of those things have improved, but I don't think putting a bunch of belts on her is the way to go. The only thing I'm laughing at is none of them was a world title, right? They're all just.
She's the Mexican champion, the British champion. And the strong, I think New Japan strong, but they're like mid titles. They're like they're not.
Yeah, they're not. None of those are world titles. I think that's what she's getting ready to face. She's getting ready to face, I guess, Tony Storm for that. But the thing that I'm is I just don't understand why you're putting on these belts when she can't defend them. I get it at the beginning, maybe to try to build her up, but it's just coming across. You can't defend all these things, and I guess you're the CEO, but. The thing that I said she had the problem in the WWE, she still got today, is she's just terrible on the mic. Yeah, it's the mic that's really, really bad. When she had that with Tony Storm the other night, it just came off really, really bad.
I tolerated her when she was Sasha Banks. And she was all right. Don't get me wrong, but now she's just over cocky.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's part of it. It's her persona, but a lot of people say she's that way off camera, and that's one of the reasons why WWE didn't want anything to do with her, because how she was acting back in the thing. But I get it. That's your character, and that's what you're portraying. But she's just not very good at this character. And I think the part of it is trying to put too many titles onto her. How are you going to defend all this stuff? How are you going to know, and none of them is a world title. It's just, once again, no creativity, no writing, no direction. No, they don't know what they're doing. And I would not put it past them to put the world title on her, and then fine, give it to her all. But then, but you keep doing this, the rest of the roster is going to be like, this is ridiculous. Are you going to let her win all the belts? And
especially when the rest of the roster is better than her.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Like literally, like even their worst talent is better than her at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You should have caught the intro. That was even funny, Platinum.
You gotta watch the replay.
Yeah, it's just weird to me. I don't know where they're going with it, but it's just she gets no pop. But really, does anybody get any pop except for Tony Storm over there?
That's about it.
From what I've been seeing,
not lately. Yeah, not lately.
Can I bring up this topic? Is it anybody else, or is it anybody? I liked the Tony Storm character, but it's, why does every one of your promos have to be vulgarity or about somebody shoving something or something nasty or dirty? Or, I mean, there's supposed to be kids watching this thing, and every one of her promos now has to be something derogatory.
What's that? She's running tits out. I mean, she's just, I agree. Everything she does is derogatory. It's just, why?
I think it's just she's just being like the over the top, like that. I guess that's the only way. That's the only way she can get over the top is by, reducing herself to vulgarity and whatnot, and
But if she's gonna say tits out, she has to at least have some to put them out. You know what I mean?
This is true.
It's
This
like-
is
I mean,
true.
she I don't know if it's written or if it's scripted or whatever she's saying, but she's good at it. But when she's interviewed, it's very off. So I don't know if a lot of it's script, but either way, she's great on the she's just great on the mic. It's just everything she's saying has a vulgar ending to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I wouldn't want my child watching that if shoving up this and shoving and my hips are wide enough to fit you up in there, and it's just like
It's just too
enough.
much.
Every
I mean,
single
she can do that, but she doesn't have to be vulgar. You know, bring the vulgarity so much. You know what I mean? You don't have
Yeah,
to
the innuendos,
pump it
yeah,
out
it's
so
like-
much.
Like the Stan Hansen promo she did last year. You know,
Yeah.
she didn't mention his genitalia, but she dropped an innuendo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was pretty funny,
Yeah.
actually. Actually, my
Yeah.
favorite promo of last year, actually. But to Kevin's point, I don't think she has to go that far and reduce
every
herself to
promo
vulgarity.
doesn't
Right.
have to have an
No, 100%.
innuendo or some stuff. Yeah, just be you, and it's just. But every one of them's got to be. I guess some Tony's like, oh, I love this. So, I
True.
don't know.
True.
Oh,
mean,
I
every
watched
time
last
he-
night.
Every time he does a video, have you ever noticed Tony Khan whenever he does one of those selfie videos, and it's always starting out like this?
Yeah.
I make
That's
a
the
lot more
biggest
money than you. I'm over here in some foreign country, but I'll be in America by tonight. But bye. Every one of them starts with his face is just right in the middle of the camera.
He's like that kid. I seen little bits and pieces of the MJF match.
good match.
I know Andy, you probably watched it. Maybe I
I
know
watched
Phil
some,
watched
yeah.
it for sure.
I watched some of it.
I'll watch it tomorrow. I'm gonna catch up. But I seen some highlights. Did he really remove his mask and put it on?
He ripped the guy,
Yeah.
he took the guys, and then he put the mask on himself.
Wow.
So
Yeah. You know what? I liked the concept of them running a show in Mexico.
What's
Oh,
going
man.
on?
And it's up, and then incorporating the lucha and all that stuff, which is great. That match was really good. What bothered me though was the awful high school Spanish promo that we opened the show with Hangman Adam Page. Like that was like, my Spanish is bad, and I barely passed Spanish in high school. My Spanish is better than that dude's, and I was like, this is. And then Excalibur's cutting promos in Spanish. Like, listen, all right. You speak Spanish. Congratulations. Okay.
Yeah, I was reading your post.
okay,
Yeah,
now Hangman Page. Okay, didn't he burn Swerve's new house down?
Yeah.
And now they're going
Yeah.
to be buddies. Now they're suddenly going to be buddies.
Now they're buddies.
He torched his house. Now come on.
And he's bilingual. And he's bilingual now, Andy. And he's bilingual now. So
Oh,
apparently,
Somebody
Oh,
talent,
Jesus.
you know.
but no one cares. You could speak Spanish. All right, great. You're in Mexico. You want to impress the fans. Fantastic. That's great. But I don't want. I have to put the SAP thing on now to listen to you if I didn't speak Spanish or if I didn't understand Spanish. Thank God I understood him.
Yep.
Because he spoke slow enough where I could. He was terrible. Stop.
Oh,
The entire
cool.
promo. The entire promo he did in Spanish. Not
Oh,
like Ray,
wow.
not like Ray who did the Spanglish. Not like guys
Oh,
who cut.
Jesus.
Like those guys did it. Manny
You're
Fernandez
grounded,
did it in
Ricky.
English. Yeah, man. And Manny Fernandez did it in both languages. Like other guys did it. Tito Santana did it. Those guys spoke English though. This dude cut the entire promo. And Macho Man cut a promo in Spanish better than he did. You know.
Yeah.
It's that almost ruined the night for me. You know.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow up with that tomorrow and watch that. I don't know if you watched any, Kev, or you've seen highlights or whatever
Of what? I don't know where we're at on what.
of the
Dynamite.
AEW Dynamite.
I
last
just think
night.
it's just a show. It's just
Exactly.
It's
I
just
agree.
the whole thing is, when you elevate two of the
Going on, Hammer.
most annoying people. I mean, when you that WWE had, including Ricochet and Sasha Banks, when you put them over the top in your promotion, I think you're headed for bad times. But
Ricochet. Jeez.
Speaking of Ricochet, he's getting some heat, man, because of his last comments. behind the scenes.
Well, he
Getting
thinks
even-
he thinks he's better than they are. He had those comments where he talked about what he did for putting it on AEW on the map. There's been all kinds of stuff, and it's just like, dude, you're not that good. You are not
Hey,
that
No, he's
good.
not.
Wait a minute, Kevin. Do you hear that doorbell? I think somebody's at the door. Let's go check that door. Would you let them in?
Say
I
what?
hear the doorbell. Somebody's in the. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, here we go. What's going on? Ethan Thompson?
Who's this guy?
What is going on, fellas?
What's up, Ethan?
That's my Uber.
What
My
is
Uber
going
ride.
on? Let me introduce you guys. Ethan, Andy, Kevin. This is my cousin Phil Raya from the
I
official
think I know.
Turnbuckle Throwbacks. Thank you for coming on with us tonight, Ethan.
I was a
appreciate
little
you.
late. I was finishing up Kevin's backyard.
Yeah,
Big.
and you didn't even weed eat, bro. You didn't even weed eat. I don't know what you're doing.
I'll get
Did he
the
at
action
least
tomorrow.
give
I
you a
told
Modelo? Did he give you a Modelo at least?
I got an
It's all
A&W
about-
root beer.
He was lucky I
man.
didn't call. He was lucky I didn't call ice on him. Give him.
No, you're supposed to wait till after he cuts the lawn, then call him.
That's a good segue with the whole ice thing with Brody King wearing that shirt last night.
Right?
I mean, what do you? It is. What are you talking about? I'm talking about y'all. See, y'all were going. I'm talking about ice in his drink. See, y'all.
Yeah. We
Uh-huh.
know what you were talking about.
Yeah, we sure do.
Oh man. So what's going
Ask
on?
Ethan what he thinks of Sasha Banks. I think
What do you think about Sasha Banks?
You mean Mercedes Monet?
Whatever her name is this year.
So I liked her in her WWE run. I think the ego and the money went to her head,
I agree.
and she just kind of spiraled. And I'm not really a fan of her anymore. She's a little sloppy, and she's in AEW, so I don't even watch AEW anymore.
Yep.
Wah, wah, wah.
Unless I want to go to sleep.
She's very
I used
sloppy. She's
to
not
be
very
able to-
strong either. She almost. If you watch, if you go back, I think it's on AEW's page. If you watch that pin or that maneuver that she did off the top rope to get that girl, it was. She was fortunate that girl actually gave her a push because she almost slammed her head straight into the turf because she's not very strong to be pulling off some of the maneuvers that she does.
Yeah, Max. I just don't know what she's the CEO of. Maybe her own mind.
That's about it.
Yeah, we were talking about Dynamite last night, Ethan. I know you don't watch AEW that much. Who was it that I'm trying to think of the wrestler. Who was the masked wrestler again, Phil?
Mystico, wasn't it?
Mystico.
Dorado? Oh, Mystico.
Yeah.
Mystico. I'm sorry.
Mystico.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
was his
Mystico.
former
Yeah.
name in WWE? Sin Cara, right?
Oh, that was Sin
Sin Cara.
Cara? Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just can't
Yeah.
believe he
Remember,
ripped
that
the
was supposed
mask
to be a
off.
big signing for WWE when they brought him in. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't translate in the States a lot of times when the Lucha guys come over. Unfortunately.
Maybe it's just something in the air, but I think wrestling in general right now is just hurting. It's flat.
It's
Like I said, since Mania, I haven't really watched. I was just flat out disappointed in Mania, and
Yeah,
now
Mania
you
sucked. Mania sucked.
now you got Goldberg coming back. I'm just like,
Oh, boy.
God.
He
Oh, God.
deserves a title
I'm
shot,
predicting.
doesn't he?
I'm predicting after Goldberg gets his title shot and wins the title shot, here comes Flair with his last match as a title run.
And then they're gonna get Bret Hart in there somewhere just to complain about it on mic.
How does
Goldberg
Goldberg
is
deserve a title shot? How does he?
he's Goldberg is 0-4 in those last matches. And it didn't make any sense. They brought him out the way they brought him out. If you were to tell me there was a promo like, "Hey, anybody to back? I'll challenge anybody," and he answered the challenge, even though we're not agreeing with it, it would have made sense. He just comes out and makes it out of not being there forever, and it just makes no sense. It's just it's got to mean something. At least tell me a story or something.
But
Max,
I heard a scenario.
I gotta
Scenario
agree with
that
Max.
that would see, but I don't. So here's the thing, though. I think Gunther losing to Goldberg, you kind of squash Gunther.
Yeah, I agree.
Ooh,
Yeah, he just
agree.
won the title back.
It would be so stupid to do that.
If anything, you should have let the strap on Jay and let Goldberg demolish Jay, and then Seth could have cashed in, and you want to sacrifice Gunther. If you sacrifice Gunther for Goldberg,
I mean, it was bad enough that he lost the title to Jay tapping out, which is totally wrong to do to Gunther right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
we could be doing a situation where they realize what stupid mistakes they've done. But, no, WWE doing that, right?
no, WWE.
But you could see a situation where he beats Goldberg, and that puts Gunther on a new level, and then Goldberg goes after somebody else, do whatever. But maybe Goldberg will put somebody. But do you think Goldberg is really coming back to put somebody over? No. Goldberg loves the attention. He's terrible in the ring. I'd be surprised if he doesn't injure him.
Well, and the Saudis love Goldberg just to death. I mean,
like somebody just said it. You don't see Goldberg passing the torch to Gunther. What if it's a double count out or double disqualification?
I mean, that's the way they used to in things or whatever, but you could still have a brutal battle and a brutal match. And you could, somebody interferes that really doesn't like Goldberg and prevents him from winning. I can see that. But who's going to be
you could go that way.
I mean, you can't keep Goldberg around for very long. I mean, he's old. I mean, how long do you want to keep him around?
Any match with Goldberg is going to be brutal, though. Mm-hmm. Any match with Goldberg is going to be brutal. So, Gunther and Goldberg have a hellacious match, and it's a brutal match. Somehow Gunther gets the W, but in the meantime, Goldberg just has destroyed Gunther. So then Seth comes in and cashes in. I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that would make more sense.
That would make something
great between them two.
Yeah.
But you still can't have Gunther lose this. You just cannot have. I mean, you're done with him. I mean, you would turn him into what's the Viking guy? What's his name again? I can't remember his name. The guy who's always black hair. What's his name? Mick.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. You're going to make him another him, where you had him, but you buried him so quickly. And all McIntyre Drew is a guy now that goes to main events just to lose, except finally for the last one he won. But that's all he was doing was losing because they buried him. Mm-hmm. Who takes McIntyre seriously anymore?
I'll play devil's advocate for a second. If anybody's going to carry Goldberg for 10 minutes, it'll be Gunther. You know what I'm saying? Like Gunther at least will at least carry him for 10 minutes and make it somewhat interesting or tolerable.
I want to do like an over. I wish I could do like a pool, an over under how many spears are going to be in this match.
I'm going to say about at least 3 or 4.
One of those drinking things.
How much is Gunther weigh?
Yeah.
How much does Gunther weigh?
Gunther weighs. Let's see here.
He's got to be close to 260.
Nah, he's bigger than that.
Yeah, it was tall.
280.
And you're gonna let a 50-year-old pick me up and be like, "Nope, you ain't doing it, pal. Sorry."
I got an out of the box thought. Now, hear me out. For one night only, out of nowhere comes Ryback and takes out Goldberg. Points down to her for Gunther to go for the cover, and then walks out of the ring.
At his slimmest, Gunther was 250.
Yeah,
he was previously billed at 297, and has also been reported to have weighed over 300 pounds in NXT UK.
Yeah, he's tall. You know, he holds it well. And he lost a ton of weight, and he lost a ton of weight too. Since his
he was Walter, he was huge.
He was a big boy.
I mean, there's so much talent on the roster. I just began, and we keep bringing back these old dudes. Get Cena out. Get Goldberg out. Let's go. Let's go with some new talent. And you know, not Jey Uso and his flabby belly and his 5 super kicks a match. Let's get some real stuff going.
You know, because they do have real talented guys. I mean, I'm a big fan of LA Knight.
Yes,
he's a.
Yes. I like. I was telling
my cousin Richie a couple months ago, like you brought up Jey Uso. It's the wrong guy in the right place. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's the wrong guy, but he's in the right place for where he is.
I agree.
And that's what I was telling my cousin Richie a couple months ago. And it's just, and the fans, they're vibing off of it. I mean, it's not really good. You know,
No,
he's better
the
tag
Yeet
team
things.
wrestler. Yeah, he's better tag team wrestler than he
He's
is
a big
anything.
merch seller. That's the only reason they put him.
He
in
does.
that
He
title,
sells a ton
for
of
the
merch. Yeah, it's a ton of merch he sells.
And that's great. You could have made this guy a great intercontinental champion. You could have got, but he's
Yeah.
just not a heavyweight. He's not going to be
Not a
somebody.
world heavyweight champion.
And if that's what we're going to do, where it seems to be that whoever's got the best song or whoever, people just go there now for these wrestling matches just to be able to do the stupid mess or sing the songs. I mean, look at Joe Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wrestle his way out of a paper bag, but he gets
Where
all
would he
this
be
stuff
without his
because
promo
his
song?
song, his song caught on, and that's what we're doing now.
Didn't they play it in Spanish yesterday?
How would that go, Ethan?
I think they played it in Spanish yesterday when he came out.
That's
Ethan's
rude.
like-
That's rude, Kevin.
Ethan's like,
I know
don't
habla de
know.
español, all right. I know a little. I know a little bit. I know enough to get by.
I mean, you were
Poquito,
singing it outside
poquito
when you were doing
español.
the yard. I was just wondering.
Probably better than Hangman Page's Spanish. I can tell you that.
Right? Hangman was hooked on phonics with his Spanish. Oh man.
No, it's just the way it is.
Our next PLE is Night of Champions, and it's going to be overseas
And it's
in
Saturday
in Saudi.
middle of the afternoon.
in Saudi
Right.
Arabia. Yep.
Blood
Thanks,
Money
man.
Mania 6.
Is it what, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I think?
I think it's going to be like 3:00. Yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I watch pretty much all the PLEs. I don't watch AEW's PLEs. I watch NXT during the week and stuff like that, but a lot of the stuff I'll watch. on my
6
own.
hours?
Phillies.
AEW still charging $50 a pay-per-view. No way.
I'd rather watch the
Gotta-
highlights.
I got to get you Phil per view, Andy. I got to get you some Phil per view. You won't
Yeah.
pay for anything.
That's just ridiculous. $50 for an AEW pay per view.
It's crazy.
Like,
That's just what they
internet,
charge.
you can-
That's not AEW. That's what the companies charge now to add the stuff.
I'd rather donate $50 to a GoFundMe in the hobby than watch AEW pay per view for $50.
Boing. Kevin goes off the camera.
No,
Don't worry. There's
not getting me.
all right, Carmine.
Where'd you go, Kevin?
Not getting me. I mean, not getting me with that one. Let me get straight.
No, I there's another one that popped up. I don't know if you guys seen it.
No way.
Yeah,
Another one?
I'll share it in the.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. I think it's like every day there's a new one coming up.
It's okay.
Oh,
if
did
it's
you
legit.
guys? I'm going to bring up another wrestling topic. Did you guys see the new thing that's going on Roku now?
NWA.
Roku
NWA.
is going to have the
NWA.
NWA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, is it going on the Roku network or the Roku channel?
I think it's the network.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the network.
So that's great. All the grandmas and grandpas who buy Roku from Walmart can see the NWA. Way to go, NWA! You did a great job.
But the good thing is,
having their grandson. Come here, Richard. Can you set up my Roku for me?
Look! Hey! Outside of the young gardener. Hey, Ethan! When you get done with the loan, I got the Roku. I'm gonna watch Arn Anderson.
No, it's like what is this NWA? Back in the day, that was a music group.
It's nude with attitude, Grandma.
That was a rap group.
I thought
The good thing,
Eazy-E
though,
was
is
dead.
if you don't have a Roku, you can actually download the app on your Fire Stick, which is pretty cool. And you can
What's
watch
the
all the
Fire
other stuff.
The
on there.
NWA product
Right?
is garbage, though. That's the trouble.
It's pretty good,
Fire
actually.
stick. That's what I used to call your grandpa.
Are people still using Fire Stick? I mean, are people still using Fire Stick? Seriously.
I think it's still a thing.
I got a Fire Cube, actually.
Yeah, the Fire Cube is the good thing.
Yeah, Fire
That's the
Cube
good
is
way
awesome.
to go. Yeah. That's the best.
Well, you
way
know,
to go.
Andy would have a Fire Stick.
He has a Fire
That's
Stone.
what the wife says, Ethan.
He's got.
Yeah, buddy.
A Fire
Tell
Stick.
him, Andy. Tell him, Andy.
He's got the fire stick on one side of the table. He's got the original Bible on the other side of the table. You know, he's good to go. He's been around the block.
He's got the club. He's got the club on his
God. Yeah. And he gave God the fire to write the 10 Commandments in the side of the tablet. Here you go, God. You can fire this.
Sold him his 7mm ink plate to scribe it on.
Yeah. This is it.
Thank you, Andy, for the fire.
Oh wow.
A little more
it's pretty cool
demonic than anything.
Right? I seen that there's the Evolve on there now and everything else. I found a bunch of wrestling stuff on that Fire Stick.
You know,
or Fire Cube,
I
I
have,
should say.
not all the subject, but I have anybody else out there in the comments land put up the I have a Samsung TV, and the last couple of TVs have been Samsungs, but they have, if it's hooked up to your network. The other day I was sitting there before I was my provider is YouTube TV. It's what I use to watch my internet, my TV on. But before I clicked on the YouTube TV, you know, all these free things came up, and I'm looking through all the free channels on the Samsung TVs. It's just, if you plug it into your internet, and I was like, holy crap, it's like just about everything that was on YouTube TV. I'm like, what's going on here? Is anybody noticing it? I mean, in all these cool channels with all these old TV shows, all these. If anybody's got a Samsung TV, just plug it into your internet, go to the regular live TV or whatever, and look at Keith. I can't stand LGs. After a year, they die on you. Nope.
I got a Samsung in every room.
Samsung's been good. Sony's pretty good too.
Yes, it's only LG for your computers and PCs screens. Yeah, but I can't. I gave up on the LGs.
Yeah, I haven't had a cable box in 6 years. So
you're fortunate. Now that you said that, tomorrow he's going to be, hey Kevin, what kind of Samsung you got? Mine died.
When I was a kid, we didn't have a cable box either, but you know, we had the box. And we always had a system.
The video channel. Yeah.
Oh, and we had the squiggly line. You tried to see the females in the squiggly line.
Don't even get me started on that. That's something that kids are deprived of these days. Now they can search whatever under the sun.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're sitting here watching squiggly line porn, hopefully try to catch a nit. Yeah.
My cousin and I, when we lived in Queens growing up, Richie and I, we lived on the third floor of our apartment buildings, and we would have HBO and WHC. Those were the two, the cable systems before we had real cable in our neighborhood. But we bootleg it. We take the coax of the antenna, run it down to the air shaft, and plug it into the TV, and it was like, your neighbor didn't even know that you were piggybacking off the cable.
And
so we had a system.
Yeah,
we had a system, a network grid of neighbors. So whenever we seen a Comcast truck on the block, everybody would call everybody and let them know, hey, cable truck's here. Unhook your box, because they try to zap the signal to destroy your box.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm. Got to be smarter in the game.
Yeah, they were selling those little bricks too. You put in the back of the TV seat, so it would block the signal from getting zapped.
Yep.
Yep. So
y'all about to tell me y'all going to get his YouTube channel set down. They're like, oh, we didn't get you back then. We're going to get you now.
Mm-hmm. Cover your ears, yeah.
I just gave Ken Walker $20. Who I would set up. He set me up.
Speaking of Comcast, he's covering his ears now.
For sure.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but it was just I just noticed it. It was like it was over 100 freaking channels. I'm like, where is? And it was just good
show.
It was just good.
Show, Taxi Cab Confections. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
When it was real, and then they started faking it. Then they started faking it when it was real.
What was
the Hunts Point hook? You remember that?
Real.
There you go. There you go.
No, it was called Hunts Point. They would go to Hunts Point up in the
Hookers on the Point.
Hookers on the Point, right? It was Hunts Point in the Bronx.
It
was Hunts Point in the Bronx, and they would hang out. All the hookers would hang out there, and they would go and get the one chip with the no teeth.
We had such great shows. I would literally go from watching Wonder Years, because that's like my favorite show. And then the time would shift, and I'm watching.
Is disclosed.
I'm watching Real Sex, and then I'm watching Hookers on the Point, and that's childhood.
We're
right
almost
there.
at the hour number 2, so we're bringing up this comment, this topic. Yeah, what about the good old days of television and HBO and
It's all done now. There is no more.
Cinemax?
Everything has to be. There's no more. What happened to just a good old sitcom? We're sitcoms. Everything now is what do you call it? Just the live
Reality
stuff,
based.
reality TV.
Reality. Yep.
I'm sick of
I
it.
think
I don't watch anything.
The
I don't
era
know.
of the situational. No, the era of the situational sitcom is done. And when they do bring a sitcom back, they just want to redo something else from our childhood, from our past.
And it's too PC.
Right, and it's too.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
you can't.
Yeah.
I'll maintain.
Thanks
If
for
you're
checking
from
in.
the ages of 30 to 50, you lived in the golden era of everything, whether it was as a kid playing outside, wrestling, TV. I mean, look at the TV shows we had. We had everything from Family Matters, Wonder Years, Roseanne, just the Married with Children, just so many fantastic TV shows you were glued to. TGIF Fridays. You had TGIF and Saturday morning cartoons and everything else. And then now you look at it and it's just depressing.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some shows that I used to like. All in the Family, Archie Bunker. Not Archie Bunker.
The Jeffersons.
Welcome Back, Carter. The Jeffersons.
Those are all 70s shows that were syndicated when we were little kids, like in the late 70s, early 80s. All those shows were in syndication, and that's what we grew up on. Odd Couple and Three's Company and
Barney Miller.
Stuff like that. Barney Miller. Oh, amazing show, Barney Miller, by the way.
Welcome back, Cotter.
Welcome back, Carter. I just got the box set of Odd Couple last summer.
That was a good show too.
I love that show. Love it. One of my favorites. One of my dad's favorites as well.
How can we forget Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days?
Happy Days was great.
Yeah, and Mork and Mindy was a spinoff of that too.
Mork and Mindy, yeah.
Happy Days spawned off a bunch.
Any for me, any of the westerns or Andy Griffith or Dukes of Hazzard, it just makes me feel good when I watch them.
Were you a MASH guy, Kevin?
A what?
A MASH guy?
MASH is
MASH?
Yeah.
MASH.
No,
what's coming on, Reese? Thanks for checking in.
I'm trying to. Yeah, I got into MASH. You talking about the sitcom MASH? MASH?
Yeah, the
not when I was younger. Not when I was younger. I saw that helicopter coming up. Nope, I'm out. When I got older, I liked it.
It was a great show.
Not when you were a kid, it wasn't.
No.
As a kid, I couldn't deal with the serious episodes. The funny episodes were great.
I actually like MASH a little bit. I mean, who could not like what's her name with the lips? Hot Lips
She
Houlihan.
just passed away.
She
just passed away.
Yeah.
Three of the saddest sitcom endings that had me emotionally scarred for a while though.
18.
Yes,
Reese.
Obviously, Elf.
Friday nights, Dukes in Dallas. It was great.
Yep. But and for Friday night, you had Knight Rider and Miami Vice too.
Yep.
But Al's final show, he was captured by the government and taken away. You had the Wonder Years,
and every one of those shows had trading cards too. That was so dope.
Wow.
You had the Wonder Years where the dad dies. He'd give the little synopsis of what happens to the family, and the dad dies right after Kevin graduates high school. Wayne takes over the family business.
It took the air out of all that. Took the air out of that show when the father passed away.
And the other one that bothered me, do you remember the dinosaurs? Knock the mom
off?
Yes.
Yeah.
That ending was bad too.
that was a rough ending.
That was brutal for all the kids that were watching that. I was
Fraggle Rock. Fraggle Rock also.
Never watched that.
That was an HBO thing. That was
HBO, yeah.
The nerd kids watched Fraggle Rock.
We had to bootleg that, Rich.
Fraggle Rock was for all the kids that were getting their special ribbons.
Yeah, I agree.
What Phil's talking about?
You can't say special on the show anymore.
Yeah, I know.
When we say bootleg stuff back in the day, we would call each other and say if one of us lived in a lower apartment, we'd say, pop your head out the window out
Air
there.
shaft.
I'm going to toss down the air shaft. I'm going to toss down the cable. Then you'd grab it, you hook it up to the back of your TV, so we'd share it.
Yeah.
My mother goes, "What's this cable? Why is it going down the window?"
And then you were the first one on the block to actually get cable, then you moved a month later. Thanks, jerk
Right.
off. Yeah.
we didn't get cable around our area till probably 92 or 93. We had the satellite.
89,
90 for us. 89, 90.
It was
satellite
the best
dishes
world we
was
got
what we
cable.
had.
Oh my god, whole new world.
The
I mean,
giant.
Book.
Those giant ones took up your whole yard.
Yeah, that was
Grab the
what was
cable
in
book and you look and you see all the movies. What they got? Keyword being nudity. That's
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Here you go, right here.
the size of the car, and it would take forever to turn if you had a big channel jump. But we were always getting in trouble in it because we were throwing our footballs and everything else in it and balls. And, anyway, we're getting off one thing. And Butcher, what's your next topic? What do you got?
We talked about the upcoming pay-per-view. It's almost time to pay some bills. Shout out to Mark.
You still got
Him and his
time.
family
You
are
got
enjoying
time.
some time, some vacation time. Mark deserves it. He's out there with the family. Oh, speaking of Mark, say his name like Joe Henry and he will appear. Ladies and gentlemen, from his siesta,
who's this guy?
Mr. Mark Maggard.
Hello,
It's
fellas.
the boss. What's up, boss?
Feels a little strange being
Everybody
at
sit
the
up.
bottom of the screen.
Sit up straight.
Welcome, Mark Maggard. Hey, did anybody hear the news now that Mark is in here? We can get back to some good topics because of thanks to Ethan for getting everybody off on his tangent of TV shows. Did you hear that that WWE is considering getting rid of the women's tag team titles altogether?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, that was on two wrestling, and I was just like, because you're getting rid of stuff because you don't know how to manage your roster. Let's talk about that.
Hell, they don't have
I wanna
tag team wrestling at all.
Why don't you put some advertisements on the title belts?
Their tag team division sucks.
Because you're putting people together, and that was one of the things it said in the article was it was rumored backstage is because they don't have any tag teams and they're tired of mashing people together. Then make a tag team then.
Yeah.
Make a tag team. I've said this forever and ever and ever, and I'm going to say it again here, 30 seconds. Start making your titles great again.
Yes.
Your Intercontinental. You don't have to do it's just like Ethan said, LA Knight, great guy and whatever, it doesn't get a push because if you're not a world title, they don't pay attention to you whatsoever, not even the Intercontinental Champion again. But you don't have to focus on the world champion every week. But
No.
I heard that news and I was like, here it comes because follow suit. They will get rid of the men's tag team. You watch.
Mm-hmm.
I did hear a rumor, though, speaking of the women's tag team, that they're going to have a group called, I believe it's called the Dungeon Dolls. And it's going to be Natalia and who's the girl with, what's his name? With Otis.
Mark. I know who you're talking about.
Maxine
Dungeon
Dupree.
Dolls.
Maxine Dupree.
Yeah. They're going to be called the
Sounds
Dungeon
kinky.
Dolls, I think. Yeah. I think that's what they're
kinky.
going to be called. They even have theme music for them and everything. They're going to probably come out at the Evolution pay-per-view, the Women's Evolution pay-per-view that's coming up.
But they'll fall right apart if you don't build up a tag team division and make it a point of highlighting it during shows, or you could give more wrestlers more time off. Like you don't have to have the world champions in the ring every single week on every one of your SmackDowns or Raw. This week focus on your mid card and then the tag team and then I don't know. But I just couldn't believe
you bring up a great point. The last two shows you didn't have the women's title on. Wasn't up for grabs.
We got lucky too as kids because they threw teams together just for the sake of building them up individually, like breaking them up, and one guy turns on another guy, and you saw that a lot, especially in the territory days. Like they could just put two guys together, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, this guy's gonna be really good, and then break them up, and then either both of them become really good singles guys, or one does and one doesn't. But we had that luxury. Now it's a lost art. It's a lost art.
I mean, O'Keefe, you could do all of that. You could have all these things if you'd get back. You have a 3-hour show and you're getting 3 wrestling matches in. Stop with the 20 minutes back and forth between 2 wrestlers. Backstage, 30 seconds, your wrestler give his point or whatever he wants to make, and then you back to the ring in the action. You could do all of it, but you don't because you want to every show 2 wrestlers in the ring talking to each other for 20 minutes.
Promo time.
I agree. Get back to wrestling. Get back to the storylines.
Well, isn't there a rumor they're going to take a SmackDown back down to 2 hours?
2 hours? Yeah, July the 4th, I think it's.
That's what I'm hearing.
2 hours, yep.
Yeah, because people are tired of tuning in, giving that much of their time up, and then only seeing 3 matches and just seeing 2 people in the ring talk the whole time.
And you can watch 12 minutes of highlights from the same show the next day on YouTube.
Yep.
So,
and I'm also hearing that Netflix they're on the thin line with Netflix because what they promised them they haven't really given them.
Yeah, nobody forced Netflix to sign it though. I mean, they're the ones went in there with the huge money and signed them. I mean,
Yeah, viewership down, and I get that. It's the form. Nobody watches live anymore.
Like you said, Mark, what was this last week or the week before? Mark said it. Why watch it live when you can watch it at any time you want now?
Mm-hmm.
You can go back to YouTube and watch it over.
And then you forget because you're doing something else.
Yep. But not only that, it's so drawn out. I can just get the fillers. I can get rid of the fillers and get what I need off of TikTok.
Exactly.
Yeah, or YouTube.
Or all the social media. If you want to, somebody needs to. I think it might be Mark. We're getting feedback to mute if he's not talking. It might. Yeah, there we go. Was that? Sorry, Mark.
That was it.
The thing. What was I even saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Then bring a little kayfabe back. Then stop. If you want to force people to watch, stop posting 30 seconds after the match is over who won on Facebook, on Twitter.
Yeah.
Stop.
Exactly.
Make the people watch, give them an excitement again, and take it down to what it needs to be, and stop all the other stuff.
I'd be willing to watch NXT for
But I'm not
3
watching 3 hours of wrestling unless it's a big pay-per-view or something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, I wanted to bring up the next topic. I'm hearing 2 names that are going to be brought up to Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman's faction. I'm hearing it's going to be Ricky Saints and who's the other guy?
Ethan Page.
Ethan Page joining his group. Thanks, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys thoughts on that?
Ethan Page is fine, but Ricky Saints, Starks, whatever. No, he should be right now. Stay a face.
What's up, Tyler Dove? What's going on,
Page,
man? Thanks for tuning in.
Ethan Page, I think, would be great.
I don't know. That's a pretty good faction with all of them together.
I like Ethan Page. I always did.
Me too.
Let's get the old Monday Night Wars back together. Let's get them both head to head on the same night, and then you guys are forced to sit around and think up better stuff than some dingleberry walking out on what was that guy's name who walked out on WrestleMania? What was his name?
Oh, Travis Scott.
The rapper guy?
Travis Scott.
Yeah.
It'll force these guys to think up something a little bit better than, and I guarantee it would force Tony Khan to hire an actual writer. I don't know.
The content will be so different now, though, and not as accepting as it was 25 years ago. Society's way different now. They don't like anything. They don't like anything fun. Everything has to make sense. Everything has to be woke.
Yeah. Me and Mark were talking about this in our chats, and Andy, remember we were talking about this? Like, where's the old guy? Remember when you had the Russians and you hated the Russians or whatever?
Yeah.
You could do the same thing with guys today, but people be so upset about it because it's not PC or whatever. I mean, you could do the Iran guy or the North Korean guy or wherever. If you were in Mexico, you could do anything, but you bring back that type of stuff that people like, that you were fighting against, and that you were.
Look at Muhammad Hassan. Remember Muhammad Hassan a couple of years ago, about 5-10 years ago? That dude's blackballed. He's blackballed now because of that gimmick. He don't work anymore. He can't work anymore. And he's not even Middle Eastern, that guy.
Yep.
interesting.
I have
And
no
What
hope
is
for
he now?
2025.
Isn't he a principal or something like that at a school or a chancellor?
Right. Yeah, but he couldn't even work anymore. Can you imagine
Yeah.
if Nikita Koloff, Ivan Koloff wouldn't be able to work afterwards? Like they weren't,
They couldn't do that. They wouldn't let him do it today. I mean, look at Jim
Right,
Cornette because of his
exactly.
comment. But how much did Jim Cornette is the reason why there were so many black wrestlers during that time was because of Jim Cornette, and people don't pay attention or read books anymore to find out.
We're so
Jim-
PC in 2025 though. I doubt Yokozuna could play a sumo.
Yeah. You know, as much as people hated Bill Watts, he did the same thing Cornette did with those wrestlers, with black wrestling, you know.
Yeah. Don't you remember how much heat the Warden and Andy remember? Don't you remember how much heat from the association of car parkers got when Mark wears that red jacket when he gets on the camera? They get that labor union for car parkers, and they get so mad.
Especially when he's running through the park with it on, ducking bullets. I mean, like,
Did you bring that with you on vacation?
No, I did not. It's hot down here.
Oh, man.
Where you at, Mark?
I got a whole
no,
new
see,
wardrobe.
Mark's an old freaky guy. I bet you he's got that jacket with him, and he comes in the room, and that's all he's wearing to the wife. He's like, "It's vacation time, babe."
He puts
I
it on
walked
when he's
in
going for the title.
I walked
Oh,
into Silver
come
Dollar City sporting that jacket. I said, "Hey, the marvelous one has arrived." They're like, "Who the hell's that guy?" Call security.
We are on hour number 2, guys. Hour 2, guys. I want to give a shout out. Let's see.
I forgot to give him an intro tonight.
Oh, overlay.
I'm gonna wing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wing it, guys.
We'll talk about that a little later because I was sitting here going through like an hour with him. I was like, it's got to be there. What are you talking about? He doesn't have an intro.
I always delete the intro after the intro plays.
I know, right?
You can play.
sorry,
You can do those overlays now. Ashley Southern Designs, Mark Leather.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Straight up here.
Overlays. It's over and overlays and media
Let's
assets.
pay some bills. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Mark Leather for all your championship belt re-leather needs. If you have a belt that needs to re-leather, reach out to Mark. Mark will hook you up. He is a master lacer, and he does an excellent flat backing.
A master
That's
what?
What an ass kisser, man.
I don't know.
what?
Flat backing? I don't think so.
Also, I want to give a shout out
Let him get through the promo.
Ashley's,
Come on.
Ashley's Southern Designs for all your tumbler needs and t-shirt needs as well. Reach out to Ashley if you want a t-shirt made or a tumbler made. Let her know the boys at the Spanning the Globe podcast sent you. Also, want to give a shout out to our other sponsor, Unique's Championship Belts. For all your replica needs, reach out to Unique and he will get you your belt made of your desire. Also, I want to give a shout out to the Brothers of Kayfabe to help us provide you guys with this live podcast every Thursday night. Shout out to Jake. Shout out to I'm bad with names, guys. What's his other name? What's the other guy's name?
This is why we
Just
can't have nice
Brothers
things.
of Kayfabe podcast, and on the next one.
Shout out to them guys. Thank you for the. With that, I would say that's the more you should know, guys.
Are you not forgetting anybody yet? Because I'm about to leave this show if mine doesn't get called out. I mean, me and Ethan about.
Oh, wait a minute! Drum roll, please.
Yeah, come on.
I want to give a shout out to the boys at the Double Dropkick podcast.
DDK.
Oh yeah! Check out their Facebook. Check out their Instagram. Check out their Twitch. Check out their X. Check out their Twitch social as well. Ethan Thompson, Kevin Davenport, and Steven Hammer every Saturday night. They are your Saturday nights delight.
Yeah, we got a good show coming up this weekend.
You're doing well. You're doing well. No, I'm on my last day here. We're going to head back toward home. We're not going to head home tomorrow. We're going to head back that direction tomorrow. Stay one more night in Tulsa, then head home Saturday. So, did the theme park thing 2 days in a row. Wore me out. roller coasters just beat the hell out of me. Did some putt tonight.
You guys froze up if you're still talking to me.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you.
So
did you say where you're
you should take Richard's advice and stop over by the Brothers of Kayfabe podcast and say thank you.
Yeah.
Go post a post with the ghost with the most, the host of the most.
The host he's the host of the ghost with the most of the hostess.
Who?
He's the warden.
But thank you for the shout out, Richard, even though we had to ask for it.
All I gotta say is stole my life. I've been saying it for the last 4 years. So WWE is watching.
And you say it, and you say it four times. Yeah, and you say it 4 times a segment.
He's no longer Richard Warden. He's Dick Warden.
Hey,
I just want to clarify one thing before I go. I when I do relathers, I don't flat back for relathers. I don't flat back. So.
They think spanky leather.
No flat back free.
Well, I was gonna say the flattest backing.
I'm gonna go in
and the stankiest leather.
And you. There you go. You guys talk about old TV shows. I've been watching Dish Network here. I don't have it at home. And I've been watching some FETV channel. It has Adam 12, Emergency, Quincy, and Perry Mason. I've been watching some of those.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those shows right there.
Very nostalgic.
Yeah, man.
Quincy was a great show.
That sounds like it almost sounds like TV Land in the daytime used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it's called FETV. I don't know what it is. I don't have Dish Network. It's not available on YouTube TV.
And it's also available free on that Samsung thing that we were talking about earlier. That channel.
I have to go back and watch the replay.
Yeah, a lot of free ones are starting to get into and that's what I'm hoping is a lot of these free apps people are starting to gravitate to, and the advertisers are like, wait a minute, there's more people watching the free stuff than they are the paid stuff. Let's start putting. So hopefully, maybe we see a better direction go with TV.
Yep. But guys, I got to go. We're going to do some s'mores and settle in for the night.
Awesome.
So
have one for me.
Thanks for taking the helm.
See you later,
Appreciate it.
Take care. Have fun, Mark.
See you, Mark.
Have a good vacation, man. Enjoy. All right, what I want to do here is I want to give one random person, it doesn't matter who it is, pick a topic, and it's up to you guys.
Start with each person. Andy, what's your topic? And you go with it, and then we'll go around the room.
All right, we'll start with Andy. And what's your topic, Andy?
Where the heck is Roman Reigns, and when's he coming back?
I've been hearing a lot. Something about negotiations of salary, but then I also heard he's still filming a movie.
I've heard the movie thing. That could be, yeah. I mean, but the money thing's not an issue. 15
Ethan,
million.
what do you think?
What he did for 3 years, he deserves 15 million a year. I'm sorry, he does. But I'd like to see him more often, but what can you do?
Getting rubbed the wrong way with the amount of part-timer that some of these guys are. Like, I get it. They want to do double dip and everything like that. That's fine. But those part-timers are killing the guys like LA Knight and just burying guys, like Braun Breaker should be way bigger than he is right now. I love Braun Breaker.
Bronson Reed should be bigger too.
Yeah, Bronson Reed. There's just so many guys that they need to build off of, but count on Rock coming to take a spot from somebody at WrestleMania. Count on Roman being there at WrestleMania. Now you got Travis Scott at WrestleMania. Just too many part-timers.
Way too many. I agree.
Kevin, your thoughts?
On Roman Reigns?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I'm just having everybody seems to be like freezing up. Nobody else is having any issues on the freezing up and
here and there,
any nut stuff or okay.
It happens here and there.
For me, I heard he was doing some movie stuff, but then I also heard it was his health that he was really, really tired and needed a break. But this is the stuff I'm talking about. You wouldn't need these guys to take this kind of break if you didn't want to know the champion. They have to appear every single week, and that's again because you're putting so much.
The old Flair was on TV every single week. Flair was there all the time, every week.
and you don't have to, but you can give these guys more time off so they can rest, because the format was different then, because you got through all the titles and everybody was on then. But today they focus so much on just one title and 20 minutes of talking in the ring. Give more guys time off so that Roman Reigns can be refreshed. And this week we're focusing all about the Intercontinental storyline and the tag team line. And then the next week is the world title and some of your other titles. You can give more guys time off if you do that. But that's just my thought. But I heard it was health and TV or movie.
I think he's doing a movie, another action movie is what I heard. Phil, what's your thoughts?
On Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
I miss him. He was one of the best storylines they had in the last 3 years, 4 years.
I mean, he carried him for 3 years. He carried him.
He did, for sure. I think, it's ever since the TKO thing, the dynamic has changed in terms of how they book certain guys and girls and whatnot. And the production is still great. The all the other stuff. I mean, their production is top notch. I mean, they still put on a good show if you're there, depending on what city you're in. But it's ever since they became this entity with TKO, I feel like they're shying away from the wrestling and concentrating more, and it's more on the entertainment. And it's and for us wrestling fans, for the fans, not the common, not the casual fan. It kind of puts a damper on how you're looking at it, and then the older we get, the more bitter we are, because we compare it to all the good shit that happened when we were kids. So
sure.
So
and that's the other thing you cannot worry about is if the product continues to be this way. TKO starts getting a little red flag and wants to pull the eject cord. You could cue up Vince McMahon sliding back in, and he come by the company back, and that he can oust Triple H and be like, "Look, told you Triple H couldn't run it."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was hearing 5 years from now that they're going to look to sell it, but I also heard the rumor was just false.
I think a lot's going to depend on what the UFC does with their pay-per-view and how they do that, because I mean, to buy a UFC pay-per-view is, you got to have ESPN Plus, which is a subscription. Then I think it's up to $75, $80.
Yikes.
For the pay-per-view, and you're doing a pay-per-view a month.
Yeah.
So
they do 10 matches, and they do a bunch of matches too. It's like
But that you can bleed it into the UFC though too. Look at UFC's product lately. I mean, there's some great fighters out there, but UFC's lacking those. I mean, John Jones is kind of on the fence.
Personality. They lack the personalities.
They lack. Yeah, I mean, probably because you got no Connor anymore. The Diaz's aren't really there. You John Jones and Cormier thing died. Khabib's gone, and guys like Islam is like just a ferocious fighter, but he's just not Connor on the mic. He's not Diaz. It's in a press conference. He's not drumming. So TKO's got a lot of restructuring they're probably going to have to do, and especially with these pay-per-views.
Yeah, another thing I heard, I don't know if you guys heard it, what happens with all the offices and everything, they're having actually TKO people running the WWE as well, is what I heard.
Not so much running it, but there's an influence in terms of production and management, because now there's guys bleeding in and out, because again they're a huge entity now, so it's going to happen. Like when you merge, like when food companies merge, like when Mars merged with like M&M, whatever it was, they all the candies became, it's the same concept. It's like they're going to bleed into each other's stuff, but there's they have no charisma. They put on they've had these fights are real popular still, and they sell.
That's a sore subject for this fat man's heart. I miss Mars bars. Sorry.
Yeah,
I think people, there's also a key point to here why we don't have characters and over top of the people is because if somebody doesn't like what they see, that PC crowd comes in or cancel crowd comes in. If somebody liked this president or liked this president, or if they're over the top and they say some edgy stuff, they're attacked so much that these companies are so scared to put somebody out there to be that over the top and crazy anymore. I'm seeing that too.
But at some point, culturally, we're going to have to shift, or a company is going to have to be the tugboat and shift the mindset, because again, 2025, you couldn't have a movie like Tropic Thunder. You couldn't have In Living Color. No. You can't have these things, and it stifles creativity.
Mm-hmm. But go ahead, they got to realize they got to realize too is people will watch just to hate on that too.
Yes.
Look in the political world. People still watch the other sides of the aisle because they still hate them. Mm-hmm. So play off that if somebody is in there, but somebody's got to be able to say what they want, and that's their opinion, and not get so much hate for it. And I think that's coming in. But the other thing I wanted to say too is TKO is not hurting for money. I heard that discussed on a show or whatever.
No way. Yeah,
or they have some debt from buying it. Everybody has debts on the book. That's normal standard operating procedure. But they have over $3.5 billion on cash on hand. Mm-hmm. And they're making fist over money with WWE and all this branding stuff. What I think is going to happen is what Ethan said. TKO will sell WWE once they milk it for whatever it's worth. Because I think right now they're not seeing the potential, the aggravation that all it's pulling in, all that it takes. I think they're going to milk it for what it's worth, like they're doing right now, and I think they'll eventually sell it because they are branding the snot out of it.
Agreed. Because if when you go from a company where you're running the UFC, which the UFC is a very, I don't want to say easy company to run, but it's very self-explanatory because you have these top tier fighters that you're clearly, your number one fighter is clearly better than your number 20 fighter. So it works itself out in a way. The WWE has way too many moving parts. There's too many personalities. There's too many. This guy needs to go shoot a movie.
Documentary. Yeah, it's getting overboard.
But this guy's going to go shoot a movie, so we can't run this. We can't do this story for 2 months because he's going to be gone for 3 months. Mm-hmm. Yep. This person got hurt, and there's so many moving parts. I can understand why TKO would just be like, "Let's milk it and let's get out
and unload it."
They are, but how wouldn't it be smart to say, "Okay, this is not working with these 3 or 4 hour shows, so let's break up our shows to where we have a show that's dedicated for the tag team and the intercontinental shows, and that show just revolves around that. Yep. This show is WWE, blah, 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 and it revolves around your world, who holds the world title and who holds whatever other title. Break up the shows that way. Then you can have each 2 hour show, and you can have 3 shows a week if you wanted to. Break it up that way. But you have too much talent and not enough time, because of what they're doing in the ring. It's just overblown.
Which on paper, Kev, that sounds brilliant. But I'm going to counter that question, and I'll ask the room. How do you sell that to a casual fan?
See, but that's the thing. Easy, I don't think you have to break it up.
No, you don't. You don't have to. But the concept is there. Like, I like that concept.
Yeah.
But how you're not selling that to my sister who's 42 years old and only watches 3 pay-per-views a year. My sister's not going to care about that.
The thing I think
she wasn't going to care about anything else they did to begin with. She was only going to be watching those to begin with, no matter what WWE did. It sounds like
right. But you want the fan base to watch what you're doing, right? Or my
but you also want to find. But you also want to find a new star. So, but if you don't get that star camera time, you're not going to get it, and you got to be able to put them out on camera on these shows, Or no, I know we're not disagreeing. I'm just saying it's just not working the product because you never see anybody except for the same people.
But I think you're right in a sense, Kev. But I think what you have to do is you have to adjust to society. And right now, society's on a TikTok culture. And like you said, you're having a 3-hour show, which is way too long. You have Cody and Cena having 20-minute promos in the ring. No, you get back to the way you used to run it, where the guy gave a quick 20-second little spiel with Mean Gene and running out the tunnel.
Next match.
And doing that, you're going to get your LA Knights, your Braun Breakers. You're going to get all these people wrestling, and you're going to get them invested in the wrestling because they can see them wrestle, not just watch them on the mic for 20 minutes.
Yes.
And why are all of us? We're all saying the same thing. Why are we all turning out? Right? Because we're seeing the same crap every week with the same guys on the mic, the same talking, no matching. That we're saying the same thing, and it will get those crowds back to watching wrestling. If you go back to wrestling, you'll get the tag teams, you'll get the intercontinental guys, you'll put more new hit on it. But I'm just tired of seeing that you have to. It's soap opera. They're running a soap opera instead of wrestling anymore, and it's not working. Bringing in new fans or old fans for me.
And they're milking a soap opera. That's the problem, is milking it. Your 2-night events, your 2-night SummerSlam, your 2-night. You need to do away with it. I'm sorry. You
so many ads.
I'd rather take a 4-hour WrestleMania.
Me too. Yep.
Where it's action packed from beginning to end, where you don't want to take a bathroom break. Versus I'm going to have 2 nights where it's going to be 4 junk matches, 2 okay matches, and then 1 match that saves both nights.
Yes.
Why not do this? You had your WrestleMania on the Sunday, your big WrestleMania, or the Saturday. Whoever didn't make it on that comes back on Raw, and then you have a star-studded Raw with 8 great matches that are, put all them on the next Raw, and everybody who fought on WrestleMania has the week off. That's what you can do, in my opinion.
Yeah. To me,
everybody that wasn't you.
If you notice, I'm sorry, Kevin. Go ahead. I didn't mean to talk over you.
No, go ahead. I'm talking with you.
WrestleMania. You see the things going on in WrestleMania. Then you see the same people fighting again on Monday night or Thursday night. It's like Kevin, who please have them star on that Raw, that SmackDown. Start the storylines, like Phil said, leading up to the next WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll piggyback on what my man Jason said in the chat room. It's all I was about to say what Jason took the words out of my mouth. It's a cash cow. It's all about money now. It's all about the profit. That's why it's 2 nights now. Yeah, that's what they're doing. You
can still milk it. I say milk it as long as you can do that, but you don't even have to change the storylines. Somebody didn't get put on. Not everybody's going to get to wrestle at WrestleMania because you got so much roster. Then just make another star-studded Raw that week and a star-studded SmackDown after that you build that up too. You build it up just as much as you did your WrestleMania, and then all those people that wrestled in WrestleMania get the week off, and then you get a full night's Raw where there's 8 matches. How great would that be?
That would be good. I mean,
I agree.
There's too many people getting pulled from matches. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Chelsea Green, you're leaving champions off your pay-per-view. What is your?
Yeah.
Oh,
that wouldn't fly back.
Yeah.
I mean, the NWA would showcase champions for free every couple of months. Like they would.
Chelsea Green is a great wrestler.
It's apples and oranges. It's not what it was, and they're more geared towards entertaining people now in terms of the wrestling and the talent, and it's a 3-hour commercial. It's a 3-hour commercial basically.
Yeah. People say you can't get rid of kayfabe. I say you can bring back a different form of kayfabe. Make your viewers watch by stop putting what happened on the match 30 seconds after it's over.
Exactly.
Get your eyes where they need to be, and then that also puts your profits up because your people are seeing the viewership and the rating sheets afterwards. Because put promos, put what your wrestlers are saying before the week leading up. Put all that on there. But I'm tired of I'm tired of the interviews. That's my topic that I want to hear everybody else. My turn for topic. can we get rid of these press conferences after every freaking stupid show or pay-per-view? Like, it's the most god-awful thing I've ever seen in my life. I hate it. Anybody else?
I agree.
I would cut it for the.
I
would
liked it
just.
in New
I would do it for the
Japan.
Big Four.
I liked it in New Japan. Yeah, there you go.
No, New Japan's different. That's because that they don't have TV, and they don't have weekly shows. They don't have. All they do is tour the country. They don't do, and they once in a while come to the States. So their press conferences are actually they're building storylines like that. So that's apples and oranges. What they should do with the press conferences and just do it for the Big Four, do it for SummerSlam, do it for Mania, do it for the Rumble, do it for Survivor Series. Like just do it for the big ones, and then but build on that though. Put some kayfabe in there. Build story. Have the guys come out, talk shit. Have them cut promos. Have them like they did back in the day with the Mania ones. When we were kids.
The ones they're doing after the pay-per-views now are just garbage. It's just garbage.
Right. Do it for the Big Four, and you can sell it like that. Do it for the Big Four. I would love to watch just a WrestleMania press conference, or when WrestleMania's had a press conference since the first one. So that's great. But have one for SummerSlam. In the Rumble, and then build on that. You want to put some kayfabe in it. Build stories with that. You don't have to have one after every event. It's nonsense.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the press. I'm talking about these press conferences where these wrestlers are talking about the storyline that they were just in. I like this storyline, and I like. That's the press conference I'm talking about. I'm not talking about building it up and what's coming. It's these press conferences where, let's say, Kevin Davenport is sitting here answering questions about his double dropkick character or whatever, blah blah blah. It's dumb. It's stupid, and I just don't get it. And maybe I'm just old, and I hate it.
Scripted, but we want the wrestlers to act like they're still in the role. We don't want them talking about that well, my character, I think he's going to do well. If he keeps doing don't do that. Yeah. We know it's scripted.
Yeah, I don't
want some kayfabe stuff. I mean.
I'm starting to realize, and anybody else, I'm starting to realize that Triple H loves the camera. It's now all about him in the writing. It's all about him in the front on these interviews. It's all about him after these pay-per-views and my writing did this and it's all about. He's loving that attention. It seems like more and more. And I don't care to hear how you came up with the storyline. I don't want to see that you're doing it. Yeah. And it just takes away from everything. It takes away from the realism, because I'm all going to think about, well, what is Triple H going to tell me about this afterwards or whatever, just because he felt that the match didn't go over on Twitter well. So he's got to go over there and explain why they did this storyline. No, you don't. Shut up, do your matches and do your regular build up.
Since the Rock,
but you're right, Jason.
At the press conference, he shattered everything right then and there by the way he was talking.
Yeah.
It's like, let it be kayfabe. You know what I mean? Don't say, oh, we were working on this year and this and that, and we decided to go to this direction. Just let it flow normally.
Just have a little bit of kayfabe.
Yeah, Mendoza.
I mean, come on. Yeah,
Mendoza's comment I missed a couple 6 ago. He's right. He's like, it's a money thing. They can have 4 or 5, 6 days in a row in it because of the thing. And I still wouldn't mind so much a 2-night WrestleMania if it's 6 hours long, but there's only 4 matches on the card. What?
Yeah. Less of the nonsense.
American Bash had 21 matches on it, and it was 3.5 hours long. Did anybody remember one of those? I mean,
that's old school wrestling right there. That's the way you run wrestling. I mean,
that's episode from Brokeback.
Yeah, it's totally different now. And like you said, Kevin, there's 4 matches, and the pay-per-view 6 hours long. Yeah. Cut out the long promos. Cut out the long entrances. Let's see some wrestling.
Be nice, wouldn't it?
What's your thoughts on that, Ethan?
I mean, I have a short attention span, and I just can't do it. I want to see match match. I just don't want to see match, 3 hours of filler, match, filler. And especially because of the matches that I go back to WrestleMania. If it wasn't for the girls, Rhea Ripley, that Mania would have been
dead.
Oh. Triple H, I agree with Kevin too on that. Triple H, lot of ego. I don't think it's going to change. I think, people get set in their ways, and I'm seeing a lot of flat wrestling coming up.
I hope not. I mean, there was a time when I watched the women's wrestling in WWE on a Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. And what do? You pick your phone up, you're surfing through your phone. Then the women's match is over, and then the next match is a men's match, and you get the same thing. And you maybe have 3 good matches out of the whole Raw, or the 3 good matches out of SmackDown. And I just want to see the storylines come back, do long-term storylines. Let's see more wrestling in the pay-per-views. I'd like to see 4 matches in a pay-per-view. Just production-wise, it's fantastic. Don't get me wrong. It's just I want to see more wrestling, less BS on the mic, less long entrances. I mean, you're not going to go back. They're not going to go old school, but you have to a little bit to get into this era as well. That's
yeah.
Andy.
The entrance stuff is what gets on my nerves. Is save those long entrances for the pay-per-views. Stop this. Everybody just on a Monday Night Raw doesn't need a 7-minute intro to walk down to the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was an interesting phone call. Off topic. Sorry.
Oh, that's good. Andy, what's your thoughts, real quick?
I told you they were coming for you. You didn't do my trimmer in the back. I was calling them. So
no, I live in California, and our infrastructure is not very good. Today is windy. So what happens is PG&E calls and says, "Hey, we're going to have to shut off your power temporarily because of the wind to prevent forest fires."
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that helped you with the last fire, didn't it? This time, instead of water, let's turn off the power and see if the fire goes out. Water? Damn, I didn't know water puts out fire. Shoot.
You're not lying.
Oh, man.
The ocean. Hey, China, here comes California. Yeah.
Right. So we have Night of Champions. Anything going on in the wrestling world, Phil, that you know about that's coming up?
No, I just have one gripe that I yelled about yesterday. Next year will be 13 years I've been podcasting, and I feel like every year it gets worse when content creators report, or celebrities or anybody who's involved in or around wrestling will have information, or they think they have information about something that's going on with someone else, and they post it and it's not true.
Oh, Hulk Hogan thing.
Yeah. Now, this has nothing to do with Hogan, but this does, but not Hogan personally, but this Bubba the Love Sponge guy, they have history, him and Hogan. He goes on his show, a nationally syndicated show. Now it's global, obviously, because of the internet, but he goes on his radio show, tells everyone, he gets it from a credible source, that Hulk Hogan's on his deathbed.
Yeah.
That they're calling for priests, they're calling for family.
Bubba the Love Sponge, Bubba the Love Sponge. Yep.
Within 3 minutes of this, every dirt sheet podcaster, content creator, TikToker, Facebooker. They all get online and click, post, click, post, click, and it's like no one has the credibility. No one wants to confirm anything before they post stuff. You're just posting it for the sake of posting it, and it just annoys me that anybody with an influence that does that they don't have a credible source. Like, get your source first. Get your shit together.
That's the thing that's the thing, and the same thing in the hobby it happens too, with wrestling belts and things like that. Once you lose credibility, then you're done. Once you lose your reputation, you're done. Those are the only things that you have when you leave and you're done with stuff. Is your credibility and your reputation and how you did things. So once you ruin this, now nobody is ever going to believe in anything this Bubba Sponge, whatever.
Right.
Nobody's going to believe him anymore. And the same thing in the hobby, people can't understand. Once you scam, once you do something wrong, you ruin your reputation and it's gone. And people need to stop believing that.
And your hobby, with your hobby is such a niche audience, a niche. The culture is so, is so tightly knit that these clowns get on with it and they ruin it for everybody else. Same thing happens in the podcasting world. It's but this guy is a celebrity almost. This guy's got credibility. He's been involved in wrestling. He's been involved with Hogan, unfortunately, and for the wrong reasons. But this guy of all people, him and people and as soon as he said it, literally, every site that I'm a part of, melted yesterday. It was ridiculous. What's going on over here that I missed?
I mean, what is it? Is it just me, or am I the only one that goes over to TMZ and check TMZ first?
No, I mean, listen, we all have our sites, our people, who we trust with information, whether it be with the hobby or with wrestling, news and stuff. Even sports. I'm a huge sports nut. Even sports news, I'm only going to listen to certain journalists. I'm not going to, just because you have a microphone and you have or a camera on you, sometimes your credibility ain't what it is, and it's sad that every year it gets progressively worse. Every year it gets progressively worse.
I'm on my way right now to I'm heading toward Iran in my spaceship.
You on Top Gun?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to head over to Iran and everything right now. Open up our door.
Yeah, Bubba the Love Sponge is not exactly the right guy to get your news from.
Yeah.
But he's got a following. But he's got a following and he's an influencer. So people are going to listen to him.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But up until 24 hours ago, he was credible. Now, not so much.
Like Mark used to tell us that his leather didn't stink. It was beautiful and whatever. Then we had a credible source come up and said he had stanky leather, and then that was it. Lost it all.
And his back was. Yeah.
Richard lied to me, said he was mailing me the WCW flag. It never came, so I don't trust him anymore.
I did ship it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
credibility is a big deal.
You know the good thing though, guys, on another note, it's good that we have so much wrestling now to pick from. There's a variety, more of a variety now than when we were kids.
At 51, I could sincerely tell you that I still try every single time to suspend my disbeliefs, get myself involved emotionally into the shows, and pretend that it's 1983 all over again. Do I get disappointed? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Does it suck a lot of times? Absolutely. But I still approach it like I approached it with. I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, Ethan.
No, he was playing with his computer and it froze up doing all them stupid pictures.
But no, all jokes aside, I still do that. And if you're a really good wrestling fan, you should try to do the same thing. And if you can't, then maybe you shouldn't watch anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I do it. I give everything a shot. You know what I mean? It's just AEW. I could watch it, but there's times where I'm tuning out. But there's also times where I'm tuning in to better matches.
But then you remember Tony Khan's running the show, and he's like, "Why am I even trying to watch it?" I mean,
well, the last time I was on with you guys, I talked about. I'm sorry, go ahead, Kev.
Everybody's breaking up, so I couldn't hear anything. So whoever was talking, go ahead.
No, I just said that. No, I'm sorry. What I said the last time I was with you guys, I said, everybody. What's the word I want to use? I forgot the word I wanted to use. But I lost my train of thought with that. But it's just the problem. The issues are just that you can't. Everybody wants to hate something. Everybody wants to put. You don't have to watch. I can watch a show, any show. I'm watching TNA right now, and the whole show. I could pick out 2-3 good spots, or could be a promo, could be a match, could be any. I could pick out something good at almost anything I see, because that's what good wrestling fans do. They appreciate what's going on, whether it's like I said, whether it's a production thing or a talent thing or a promo thing or what their favorite characters, like whatever it is. But if you could still engulf yourself in suspended disbeliefs when you're watching it for 20, 30, 40 years, you're doing something. You're doing something good.
But like you said, fans like us may not like certain things, but there's casual fans that'll tune in and they'll like the things that we don't like because they are not the type of fan we are.
Right.
They're not going to go.
They're not going to go. Yeah. They're not going to go on Twitter and watch a WWE show on Twitter.
They're the casual fan.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with those guys and girls.
No,
but like I was like when Kev was saying before about putting the certain shows, putting on showcasing talent on certain shows, it's a genius idea. But the casual fan's not going to watch it. They're not, because they're not in it like we are. They're not in love with it. The wrestling's our mistress. They disappoint us. We always go back to it. It's like that's how it's been. Unless you walk away from it totally and never watch it no more. Like I had friends who gave up on it when we were kids. I don't watch that stuff anymore. You still watch that stuff? Yeah, of course I do. But it is what it is. It's it is what it is.
I mean, I think if you put a good enough product on there, you could have it every night of the week and people would watch. It's all about 100%. The product.
Yeah.
People are casually. I mean, it should be a key to you when you can't even sell out. Not less big time arenas and big time event. You can't even sell out ballrooms or the Holiday Inn's ballroom. That should tell you something that your product is terrible and you need to fix your product. When you can't even sell tickets for it, you're having to give them away.
There you go.
For a 3-year span, I took a trek to Philadelphia every 3 months, 4 times a year, to watch ECW in a bingo hall. Okay, and the vibe every single time was amazing. No matter who wrestled, no matter what the matches were. No matter who showed up, who was supposed to show up and didn't show up, who replaced that person, the vibe was always there. If you have a vibe, if you have a following, you build it, the cliche, they'll come. And I miss that. I miss that cult following feeling where everybody's involved and everybody's into it and everybody knows that it's gonna be a good night. And even if there's a bad match or 2 bad matches, it's going to be okay. You don't get that no more.
Heyman knew what he was doing in ACW.
Yeah.
Really did.
If you book them, they'll come. You know what I'm saying? It's that's just how it is,
The red blazer.
The red blazer.
I'm not going to let that go.
I think today's wrestling fan has changed, but people are like, oh, the wrestling people just... No, there's millions and millions of us that are in our age that watch great wrestling that will come back to it if you do a real product. But the wrestling fan today doesn't care they really don't care about the matches or the storylines. They just want to go to these stupid events so they can sing these stupid intro songs for 30 or 40, 3 or 4 minutes long. That's what they're all into, is all that crap. So,
or in the 90s too.
I mean, put it to you this way. Before COVID happened, NWA was putting up numbers that was competing with some of the other guys on some of their lesser shows and all the others before COVID, because they went back to actual wrestling, the in-studio quick interview, and then done, and then putting on more matches. And look who came from NWA during that too. So yeah, that wrestling is still wanted. It's just somebody needs to go back to it and say, look, we're done with this yeeting and this 2 matches a night kind of thing, because it's there, but somebody has to put the effort into it. Because like I said, nobody can tell me that they're smart when these 5 idiots sat around for your WrestleMania, your biggest pay-per-view of the year, that should set the tone, that should have the most shocking things happen, people come out of everywhere and this, that, and the other, and you came out with Travis freaking Scott. You could have had a thing to where Rock showed up and was trying to intervene, and then Stone Cold was already there. You could have had the music bust. Here comes Stone Cold to prevent Rock from interfering, and that's how the title changed. And that would have been one of the most epic ones that we look back 25 years from now. That we could have had that, but no.
100%.
5, 10, however many writers, 100, however many writers they got, they sat around there and were like, Travis Scott. That's what we decide.
And it took the air out of a really good card. The card was solid until then, and then what? And then it took the life out of it. That one segment.
It took a lot of people away that had tried to come back to watching it away too. Because I was leading up to that, I gave a good year to trying to get back into it. Now I'm just kind of casually paying attention to it. Whatever. I said, nope. After that, that's what you did. You put this stupid idiot out here. You already injured a wrestler that people aren't going to remember in 10 years.
The Rock should have been the one that showed up there, and the best they could do was Travis Scott to replace him.
Took the air out of a really, really good show.
Even if he didn't, the thing that I can't understand is, even if he wasn't showing up, you had a bunch of wrestling stars. You had people that were still from the Hall of Fame. You could have thrown out Brett coming out. You had plenty of people there to come up with something. Even if The Rock said I wasn't coming that night or the night before, you could have come up with something better than that to run out there and do something than what you did. You still could have sent Stone Cold out there.
And what bothered me even more, I'm sorry, because I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Like I said, the Stone Cold idea, like Kevin mentioned, that would have been gold. That would have been something to remember for years till the following WrestleMania.
What annoyed me though, even more after what happened with Travis Scott, was The Rock going on different news outlets and trying to justify it.
Exactly. Yes.
Why are you justifying it? Keep it kayfabe. If you said in storyline, if you sent Travis Scott to help John Cena, why are you justifying yourself not being there to an audience who already knows that you weren't going to be there, who knew you were filming a movie? Why?
Here's my answer to Deuce of what he was saying of the doubt the writers did that. Well, then how did the writers get from we never found out the storyline of why he sold your soul. Why did he turn? We never got any of those answers. What did it mean when he said, give me your soul? Why did they drop No, the writers have a whole lot of crap on their plate from that. That may not have happened, but somebody somewhere should have said, we're not sending this guy out, because where's Travis Scott been since then?
And not once did they have The Rock and Cena appear together after that happened. Not once. It made no sense.
Where's Travis Scott been?
You entered him into this. He's at wrestling school still learning. For what, I don't know.
Oh God!
I don't want to see him in the ring.
I don't want to see him anymore. None.
Stick to music.
Just stay out of wrestling, Travis, please.
I mean, it just ruined that whole match. It ruined the vibe of that match. Like Andy said, there's so many things could have happened. You could have had Stone Cold come out. You could have had The Rock come out.
And to make it even worse, he took forever coming down to the ring. It's like,
Not to mention,
you still, the night of, I'd have been like, no, Stone Cold, you're not going out to announcing tonight. We're going to send Brett out to announce it, or one of the other Hall of Famers. Stone Cold, you're going to go in there. We're going to change this. You're going to save.
Cody.
You're going to try to help Cody, and that favor and then something happened, you send somebody else that messed up with Stone Cold too. You could somebody that had an issue with him, like you could have sent a Heartbreak Kid out there who had a rivalry with Stone Cold or whatever, and he stone kicks him and he prevents him from helping. You could have done a myriad of things than sending out this guy. That's what you thought of, because it's supposed to be shock moments for your best pay-per-view, and you threw it out.
I feel like if the writers were more involved with the product, then you might get some better stories. Like, when I remember a bunch of years ago, like 20 years ago, when the first Iron Man movie came out. I don't know if you guys are big Marvel heads. I'm a big Marvel head. Jon Favreau wrote the first Iron Man movie. What he did, though, before he wrote the movie was he took a year and read comics and read stories and interviewed artists and interviewed writers who wrote the books and engulfed himself into the culture. Now, I'm not saying the writers now have to do that, but they should dedicate more time to what brought them to this point in sports entertainment. Like, let them watch old stuff, man. Watch some old tapes and get yourself involved and talk to some of the talents and get ideas and you have so much there. There's so much talent in the Fed. Like, you should take advantage of that. Don't just sit in a room with a bunch of people and write shit for the sake of writing shit. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, here's an idea. Why not get somebody that actually watches the product, or at least two people that watch the product?
Obviously, the people who are writing it aren't watching the product.
No,
they're watching pieces of it.
Yeah,
I think they are trying to do too hard of a job with writing the next greatest storyline. You don't have to. You're trying too hard. You don't need 10 writers to do wrestling. You just don't. You don't. You need good wrestlers, and you have them. You're just not using them. Let these guys go back to doing them.
Remember how excited you got when you were a kid when your guy got built up, when they broke him off a tag team, or they jumped him in a parking lot, or they did him dirty, or like they something happened to somebody and they built them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was Sting or Luger or Barry Windham or Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, they built them. They built these guys.
Talmadge. The thing is I'm blaming all the writers and Triple H, because he's head of creative. He has a higher voice or whatever, and it's been said many a times by Triple H and by the owner of TKO that nobody on the board overrides Triple H and what he's doing with creative. They leave him alone and this, that, and the other. Yep. But Triple H is always talking the team of writers on all those interviews. The team of writers did this. So the team of writers are, you're trying too hard. Get back to basic wrestling. Let these wrestlers stop. And you need 10 writers, because these guys are writing 20-minute scripts for each of these guys every Monday Night Raw. That's why you need all these writers, instead of just letting them. You don't have to. Wrestlers shouldn't be meeting face to face 10 times before they match. Mm-hmm. Just you don't need it. That could be a match. These guys don't need all this build up to it and this, that, and the other.
The writers are not true wrestling fans. That's their job.
No,
they don't have the true love. They're not true fans.
But you know what, though? You don't have to be a fan. You just have to know what you're writing about.
Yeah,
that's all. I mean, just know what you're writing about.
Yeah,
invest your time. Right, invest your time. Right, invest your time into the talent.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You can expose. That's what Paul Heyman did. He took his talent. He invested himself in him. He exposed all.
You're also you're also in an era to where the matches are not even paying attention to what the crowd is doing. Whatever's working with the crowd, or getting out and yelling at the crowd, or doing the all that type of stuff. It's you're in there, and 30 seconds in, you already have five finishing moves, and a guy's not pinned, and then 15 minutes later, he's pinned by a roll up. That's just not good writing, and that's not good build up to a match. You need to feel it here when you're watching it.
Just to piggyback on what this was Mendoza was saying, why are we trying to make sense of a company who has people with no sense in booking and writing? We're not trying to make sense. We're just trying to we're just asking why or how you can make it better. I don't think it doesn't make sense. We're not trying to make sense of it. I think we're just trying to make it better. Because it doesn't make a lot of it doesn't make sense.
Their new show of pulling back the reins and letting us see inside the writing room. We're gonna find out.
When does that start?
I don't know. I think it's going to expose a lot. So these idiots don't know nothing. Is what it's going to be.
Oh yeah.
Is this writer was a writer for The Walking Dead 10 years ago? That's why he's writing for wrestling when it just doesn't work.
We are going to be going down to our last few minutes. I don't know if I want to give either Kevin or Andy for the final thought. If either one of you guys want to share it, or do you want to do it a final thought?
Take it, Kev.
No, that's you. It's your show, Andy. We'll each give one. Give each guy 30 seconds and then give something.
Okay. I'm going to start with Andy.
Oh, geez. So quickly. I mean, when I think about it, the monthly pay-per-views. Remember way back when it wasn't every single month we got a pay-per-view. It was something that was built on. We looked forward to it. Yeah, it was spread out. Like what? There was maybe 4, maybe 5 at the most a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting one every single month, and I think that causes, some problems. There's, you build up for a month, and then the storyline a lot of times has to change for the next pay-per-view. It's just
Mendoza.
Jeez. But at any rate, I kind of think that has something to do with it. And I kind of miss the days when you really look forward to the pay-per-views, and maybe that's the one thing AEW is doing, is that they're putting them on maybe every couple of months or maybe a little bit more. Maybe there's something to that.
Okay, Kevin.
My final thought is
sorry about that.
Guys on your Facebook pages, please pay attention to all the rules. My final thought is make sure you know the rules of when you're posting a belt for sale, whether it is a rule on the page that it's on the weekly sales post, if it's not allowed at all, or if it's got you can do it at all, and learn if you need to coin something when you're doing it. And my other recommendation is we're having a lot more pitch thieves show up. So once again, pay attention to all the groups you're in. Get out of those groups that are have a lot of scammers in them. And I recommend people start tagging your pictures by putting a watermark on over the plate, hiding it in the plate somewhere, this, that, and the other. But that's my final thoughts.
Phil?
First of all, thank you for having me. You guys are awesome.
Phil.
Thank you so much. You guys are awesome.
Appreciate you coming on last minute.
Yeah, thank you.
My final thought is be mindful. I'm gonna piggyback what Kevin was saying, but be mindful. The world hides behind microphones and cameras now, and no one really take the human element out of everything. Respect each other. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion. Let them have their opinion, and keep them moving. And be optimistic when it comes to pro wrestling. Don't be pessimistic. You don't like it, don't watch it.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Don't watch it. That's it. You don't want to be nice in these belt groups. Then leave.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just be mindful. Respect other people.
Exactly.
There's boundaries.
Exactly.
So, and again, thank you very much. You guys are awesome. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for coming on.
My final thought is going to be shout out to Mark on vacation for giving me a chance to do this for the second time. Shout out to you guys. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Phil. Andy, thank you for coming on. Ben, shout out to you, bud. Get some rest. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Shout out to everybody watching. Thank you for putting up with me today. I was a little bit better than last time. Thank you for Kevin's help. Thank you for Mark's help behind the scenes. I think this was a really good show, and I appreciate every single one of you guys. And with that, everybody, I just want to say have a good night.
Play the
And
outro.
we'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Wait.
Are we off?
Why is it not ending?
Nope, we're still live, Richard. You need to click
I'm
off. You gotta click it and then click it again, Richard.
did.
It says, no, you didn't. We're still live. It's still running. Top right hand corner, it'll say in stream. Click it, and then it'll say, "Are you sure?" And then you click yes again.